season 1 of The Last of Us just finished wrapping up, and overall I think it was a good show. So let's have a little fun and rank all 9 episodes. One important note, I don't think there's any bad episodes. I don't think there's one episode where I'm like, oh my god, fuck that shit, what are they doing? And at the end of the day, it's not that serious. These episodes are really interchangeable on this list. But yeah, let's just kick it off with the last place episode. It's not a bad episode, but I have episode 5, Endure and Survive, at last place. Yeah, this might be shocking to some of y'all. Okay, first of all, the bloater looked kind of fake, even though it was a real person. It was a real dude. It's just maybe the way the lighting hit, or maybe they did put some CGI on him, I don't know. If you get past that, I just think the main issue I have with this episode is it just feels like more downtime. I mean, we did get the Bill and Frank episode like 2 episodes earlier, and yeah, the Kathleen characters, she's alright. I wasn't offended. It really didn't do too much to enhance the lore of The Last of Us. What I really loved about this episode was how it ended. We go into this motel and we reveal that Sam is actually infected, and this was heartbreaking. And Ellie, tries to save Sam by using her blood. This was just a very touching moment. Gosh, one of the best scenes in the show in general. Henry just has to shoot Sam because Sam is infected. He's gone now, and we're asking the question of, are you still really the person under there if you're infected? This is just really good stuff. Really heavy, really dark, really well acted. Shout out to Lamar Johnson for playing Henry. Wow, he was amazing. And the episode ends with Joe and Ellie digging the grave, and Ellie puts down the note, sorry. Amazing way to end the episode. All right, next up, 8th place. Episode 3. Long time. Oh brother, depending on who you ask, this episode was either too gay or too long, or this was like the greatest hour of television they've ever seen in their life. This was a really good episode. I mean, this was, when I first watched this episode, I was like, okay, now this show is really kicking it into high gear here. But all in all, after the series has ended, it's like, damn, this episode really is long. I kind of wish they could have used some of that screen time from this episode and injected it into some of the other ones. And I also kind of feel like it was a missed opportunity. Let's take a look at the series in general, right? We meet all these other side characters, and almost all the side characters that we come to meet on this journey, they're kind of similar, and they kind of send off the same message to Joel: protect who you care about at all costs. We needed someone to contrast all these other side characters, and I think the one to do it was Bill. See, in the game, Bill did find love with Frank, but Frank betrayed that trust. So we needed someone to be more of a pessimist in this story, and Bill was definitely that in the game. And we also could have had the funny interactions between Ellie and Bill.
Whole goddamn town's booby trapped. Best stay right on my ass.
Can't miss it.
And we also could have had some more infected. I mean, that's probably one of the main issues I have with the show. They just kind of forgot about the infected as time goes on. But overall, the story itself, it's very tragic, but it's very beautiful. Frank's gaydar is elite in this one. It's a great one, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it adds that much to the show in general. But shout out to Nick Offerman and Murray Bartlett. Those guys killed it. I'm gonna praise the acting for this entire video, and no one's gonna stop me. Next up, at 7th place, we have the very first episode, When You're Lost in the Darkness. This is the episode that got me optimistic for the rest of the show. Again, it's really faithful to the opening of the video game. I guess that's why I kind of have it lower on this list, because you kind of just expect to know what's going on. But that airplane crash was crazy though, really showing off that HBO budget. The greatest quality of this episode, I think, is the trends it starts setting up. It starts setting up the expectation that we should look out for these small details and these cool little Easter eggs they lay throughout these episodes. And I really liked these kind of out of context opening scenes with completely unrelated characters. I know it's very different from the rest of the show, but I really liked it. Maybe because I have played the game twice already. If we get something new and it's good, I'm gonna hop on it. So I really like these opening scenes here. And Sarah was amazing. Shout out to Nico Parker. She really had to lead in this episode, and she fucking killed it. But ultimately, like pre-outbreak day, that's not the stuff I really like The Last of Us for. I don't think this is the prime time meat of the show yet, but it's a really good way to kick off the show. All right, next up we have episode 2, Infected. Yo, remember when the show was about the infected, guys? But this is the episode directed by Neil Druckmann himself. I mean, this one was awesome. This one was like probably the most gameplay-like of any episode. There's an amazing scene where Joel's reloading his revolver, and then the camera pans away from the clicker a little bit, and you can see Joel trying to silently reload, and then the camera pans back, and then the clicker's literally right in his face. That was amazing. And literally just walking up the stairs never felt so tense before. And also, this is the episode where Tess dies, RP Tess. And of course, Anna Torv was amazing. She really was Tess. And also the opening scene too, that was really good. And also some really funny jokes.
There's not gonna be anything bad in here?
Just you.
Oh, funny. Can I have a gun?
Absolutely not.
Okay, Jesus, fine. I'll have to throw a fucking sandwich at them.
And the episode ends with the hauntingly romantic image of Tess slowly getting infected through a kiss. At 5th place, we have episode 4, Please Hold On to My Hand. So this is the episode where they first arrived to Kansas City. This was a little hated, I think. I don't know about, the rest of the world, but Twitter was kind of hating on this one, saying it was kind of filler. I really like this one. I laughed my ass off when the first time viewing this. The dad joke puns were really good.
I stayed up all night,
No.
wondering where the sun went. And then it dawned on me.
Feel free to wait in the truck.
I think the meat of The Last of Us is just the relationship between Joel and Ellie, and this is the one where we get it and they finally start opening up to each other. This is the episode where Ellie kills another boy to save Joel's life, and we also get the Kathleen character, which she's alright, I guess. Yeah, I could get the hate, she wasn't that menacing, but I don't think that was what they were trying to go for. Maybe they're just trying to go for that, good person turn evil type of character. I didn't have that much of a problem with it, but I just can't deny how special this episode felt when I first viewed it. When Joel and Ellie are just in the car, and Ellie has a gay porno mag, and Ellie is like,
How do you even walk around with that thing?
and we also ended the episode with the "it runs in your genes" joke. I really like this episode. I'm a really big fan of just Joel and Ellie's relationship, and this episode they really start to open up and trust each other. And on to my 4th favorite episode. It is episode 8, When We Are in Need. This is the episode where we finally get the menacing villain of David. Shout out to Scott Shepherd for bodying this role. And yeah, finally someone who's not like the rest of the side characters. We finally get a truly evil human being, and honestly more terrifying than the infected. I would say though, this is the episode where they could have fit in one more infected scene. Maybe this was the one. But other than that, it's really faithful to the games. I think this is the peak episode where Bella Ramsey just absolutely nails Ellie. The killer side of Ellie just gets unleashed, and just the acting prowess to pull this off was just amazing. And I felt like this show kind of really needed this episode to succeed, and it did. I just felt like it could have been a little longer, but it's tremendous, it's terrifying, and the acting is A1. And for my 3rd favorite episode of the show, we have Look for the Light, episode 9, the very last episode. To me, this is probably the best part of The Last of Us video game, just the ending. Joel and Ellie finally make it across the country. They finally get here. They finally are about to complete their mission. We get the giraffe scene. Yes, it was a real giraffe, even though yes, it did look kind of fake. But yeah, this is very faithful to the games. Literally a mirror image of it, and they freaking nail it right on its head. We get this very touching scene where Joel opens up about how he actually got a scar, and that was that he tried to take his own life after his daughter died.
So time heals all wounds, I guess.
It wasn't time that did it.
So good. And also shout out to Merle Dandridge as Marlene. She is Marlene. She absolutely ate with her performance. And also the opening scene where we get Ellie's mother, Anna, when we see Anna literally give birth as she's trying to fight off an infected. This was some really great stuff. And again, I could appreciate anything new that they add to this story. And we see Marlene taking a baby Ellie, and she grants Anna's final wish and she shoots her. That scene was just like, whoa, what a way to open up the final episode. All right, now we get to my 2nd favorite episode from the show, and that is episode 6, Kin. This is the episode where we finally get to meet Tommy. This episode is probably the closest I was to just bawling my eyes out, and one of the best scenes in this episode and the show in general is the verbal sparring between Joel and Tommy. Right here, Joel is trying to convince Tommy to come with them to lead them to the Fireflies, but Tommy reveals that Maria is pregnant and he's gonna be a father soon. And literally Joel doesn't react the best to Tommy announcing that he's gonna become a father.
I guess we'll find out. That's all you got?
What else am I supposed to say?
Just because life stopped for you doesn't mean it has to stop for me.
I know that line hit Joel pretty fucking hard. I just love how vulnerable Joel is in this episode. This is probably the weakest we've seen him emotionally, and just seeing the scene of Joel confiding in Tommy, this one almost put me into tears. Joel is literally in his weakest state because he can't fathom losing another daughter in this lifetime, and if he was responsible for losing Ellie, that would have broken completely. And then it's followed up by the best scene in this entire show.
I'm sorry about your daughter, Joel. But I've lost people too.
You have no idea what loss is.
Everybody I have cared for has either died or left me. Everybody fucking except for you! So don't tell me that I'd be safe with somebody else, because the truth is, I would just be more scared.
That one hit straight to the heart. I just love this episode so much. To me, this episode was the peak of tear-jerking moments. And Pedro Pascal was untouchable in this one. Almost put a grown man to tears. And Bella Ramsey for just bringing that emotion. Alright, my number one. When I even thought about this video, I had to do a double take. I was like, is this really my favorite episode? I think this is. And it's episode 7, Left Behind. Dare I say, this is probably the rare instance where I actually like the show better than the game. Now, the Left Behind DLC, you know, I thought it was cool, but I don't think it was that essential. I think this episode proved that Left Behind is not filler. Left Behind is an essential part of this story. You had to do this flashback. Sorry, I don't make the rules. But no, I don't think it's filler. And we finally get to see how Ellie gets her scar. We get sort of this origin of Ellie, but just more importantly, we just get to see how Ellie was before she was, you know, this chosen one. And oh my god, Storm Reed stole the show in this one. She had to almost carry this entire episode. Man, she really nailed this one. My goodness, give her flowers. Here's some flowers. I'm gonna throw Emmy in there too. Episode 6 was probably peak emotion in terms of like sadness. This episode was like peak drama, sadness, and anger, like all the emotions. But I really loved the drama in this episode. You know, Ellie is mad at Riley for leaving her, and you kind of feel like this disconnect, and we kind of feel like them starting to reconnect again, and we finally get the kiss. And of course, there's an infected to ruin the day, and then you could just feel Ellie's frustration after getting bit. Just literally all the emotions in this goddamn episode. I really think this episode was special, man. I don't think it's a waste of time. I really don't think this is filler. This is the best emotions put into one episode, and just the iconic line of,
"We could just be all poetic and shit and lose our minds together."
There's nothing left for me to say here. This is my favorite episode. Let me know what you think of this list. Am I tripping? Have I gotten infected with cordyceps in my brain? Probably not. I am right. I'm just kidding. And overall, I just think this was a good show. Maybe a few more additions and tweaks. This could have been godly territory, but just certain scenes just really stuck out and I hold near and dear to my heart. But I want to remind y'all real quick, I made a video a few months ago detailing if the show was even going to turn out good or not. So if you want to see how my opinions have shaped up over time, make sure to watch this video. But other than that, thank you all for watching, and remember, when you're lost in the darkness,
You tell me to look for the light and I'll break your jaw.